Okay, this is where we're going to do charity versus justice. The Rancho Costa Humane Society does a really good job at charity. People donate their time, money, supplies, food, but unfortunately those people that are donating their time and food and money, it's only kind of helping the immediate dogs and cats and animals that are they're either out of homes, but it's not changing the human behaviors and lifestyles that help the supply and demand chain, quite frankly, that continues animals to be exploited. So not only are we asking for, you know, time and money, but we're also asking that we need to start changing the way that each of us interact, and the way that we buy, the buying power that we have. Because ultimately, I believe it's the way that we exploit animals that ultimately leads to animals being homeless, because we're breeding dogs and cats and birds and all those different kind of animals for companion animals and for profit, and ultimately in the end some of them get left out of homes. So that, and then just changing the mentality of animals completely not being used for any kind of objectification or profiting. So if I were the boss, I would educate the community. I would go into schools and have workshops, which the Humane Society already does, that builds empathy. But from there, we would build upon just empathy building, and we would help start to paint the picture to the local community about how, quite frankly, buying animals for food or clothing or anything like that, or supporting, horse races, or any of those things, those are all coming together to continue the exploitation of animals. And in the means of animals being used for profit, unfortunately, animals are going to be suffering, dying, and living in deplorable conditions. So with education, we would hire, a team of lawyers that would hopefully be on the same kind of page as us. They would put pressure on the government to, give incentives to companies to, while the animals still are unfortunately being used for profit, and to some extent at least give those animals healthy environments. I would also raise taxes on any animals used for profit. I would want to do any kind of, what is it called, boycotting, lobbying, events in front of fast food organizations, coming together with the staff, volunteers, and the community to make people uncomfortable that we're still not standing for the continuation of animals being used for profit. We would do that. We would also have a food and supply bank for free, so people would come, get food, get supplies, but at the same time we would kind of end that idea of fill out this paperwork, let me see how needy you are, and we would kind of help build the trust between the clients and the human clients in the community and in our organization, show them that we're not about that. We trust you, and we have an open doors, mutual, respectful relationship where we're not automatically criminalizing you and wondering, are you here to cheat us, kind of thing, like we talked about with a lot of the welfare programs. Let's see here, what else? And the last thing, if I were the boss, I would not have it so that we only take in certain dogs or cats based on if they're going to be turn around and become good animals for forever homes or whatever they say. We wouldn't just take in small dogs that are cute. This whole at-risk idea that we talk about with humans, I feel like that whole at-risk mentality can also be applied for the dogs and cats, because we kind of analyze them on a deficit model, and those with the least amount of deficits are going to be the ones that the Humane Society takes in and turns around and finds home for. Forget that. If I were in charge, we would just take in any animal, we would rehabilitate them to the best of our ability, and even no matter how long it takes, we would find the right fit for the home, or a right home for the fit for the animal. So that's what I would do if I were the boss. I'm going to talk about staff written, but then the last thing I want to talk about verbally is my obstacles. I believe that the biggest obstacle is going to be overcoming the idea of the naturalness of animals being subservient to humans. Davis talks about the naturalness of prisons. We talk about the naturalness of women being subservient to men, but for our situation at Rancho Costa Humane Society, I think it's going to be to slowly chip away at the block of the idea of animals and their naturalness of being subservient to humans. So those are the obstacles. That's the main obstacle that I think I would see. So that's justice and charity and the obstacles and the different things that I would do if I were a boss. And other than that, that is all for now.